12 what it is. I need to try it out. I suppose, yeah, I mean, I've got the RS problem on 80, haven't I? So I think that's a no-brainer. I think it's quite simply the fact that I've got together, not in a standard D7VKK way, but I've got a nice audio box and I've created a nice stereo board project, but I haven't got at the moment a one-to-one transformer between the equalizer and the radio. I just don't have one, so I need to order one. Now I could go and have a look around online for a United Junction, but I remember you said to me, and you showed me in the past, and it's getting on well. The only problem is, I managed to harvest one from somewhere. I don't know if it was like a modem or something, and it probably wasn't entirely appropriate. But, you know, those lots of bits, you bring a soldering line in the room, and they just go, and they fall to bits. And, you know, even a low temperature soldering line. So what I need to do is, you can get these Jensens, and they have a little socket on them. You can just literally attach them up to the board, and then you just say that you worry about the soldering temperatures on the board. That's the next step. Because everything is grounded to it. The radio has a ground going to a side outside, and there's the tuner, and there's the equalizer, so all have separate style configuration. 5mm copper wire. Well, on 80, it's not an RF issue, it's my speech peak. Anyway, all of the and okay, on the sun shining through the window. It's been really cloudy, there's some spectacular clouds, and it's weird because I have been flying and I haven't. Last Thursday I flew with my mate Stuart, who's going off to join BMI Regional Airlines as a first officer. We went to Olmsted, which is near Ipswich, and was in the Rotterdam military map area. That was really good fun, in a vintage Cessna 172. We flew together, in fact I did all the flying, he just told me off and wouldn't get it wrong. And landed at a lovely airfield, and they lent us a car. We went and bought fish and chips, and it was really nice. Came back, they had done the 50-hour check on the aircraft. That was the reason that we went to this airfield, to get the 50-hour check, and then I flew back to marginal conditions, there were thunderstorms knocking out. That was a lesson for me. That was nice. And the week before that, or 2 weeks before that, I was at Headland 4, which is like a, you know, these shows they have, stuff at Stone Office, so it's like a mini version of that. But they had a little airfield over the hill, so went fast and that was really nice. Resolved in the next few weeks, but I'll tell you more on the chat. G7KLJ, G7VKK.
Yeah, alright. I don't know if your area was as good as you think it is, you know, because remember, we are both in each other's sweet spot here with these low, short doublets. I mean, for example, if I look on that SDR in the one I told you about, I'm going to call it the Hertfordshire SDR because it hasn't got a name. Oh, it is in Hertfordshire, I think. Wheat Hampstead, is it? That one. If I look on there, I'm really, really strong. We're at 9 or 20 over 9 sometimes. Then you go to 1942, which isn't in my sweet spot, Derby. And last time I looked, I'm probably going to be proven wrong there. No, not really. I'm on there, but I'm about S7. So it makes a lot of difference where the other bloke is. I don't know about, I think I said to you before, I don't know why you spend so much money on Jensen transformers. I know sometimes they're electrostatically shielded. I think the main reason for your problems is probably because I think you got all your bloody audio gear in a plastic box, haven't you? Or did you get a metal one, Break?
What's he called, Thomas? What's he called?
24 minutes, Steve? Roger, I'll poke about on eBay and see if I can find some transformers for you.
No problem. No, thanks for all that. And you're right. Yeah, it is plastic. That could be the problem. It's complicated. I'll be back in a sec.
I'll give you a report, Steve.
Hello, who's that?
SDRKWR. How you doing?
Hey, I didn't recognise you. I'm all right. Well, I'm not all right, but for politeness, one says, yeah, fine, thanks. Back to you.
Yep, I do the same, Steve. I do the same. I've just scanned down the band. I see you on the scope, and I thought, hello. It's unusual this time of night, and it's pretty good to say it's in bright sunshine here. But you're nearly 20 over to me. I'm on my inverted L, which is not happy where I am, so I need to tune it.
Oh, well then you might be 20 over 9 if you do that. You're about 15 at the minute. Oh Christ, it's 10, isn't it? Yeah. 10 over 9 at the minute, but it'll be 15 maybe, and it'll go over a bit more. I noticed talking to Pete, the QSB is quite severe. You'd expect it. I mean, this band's not supposed to work. I have virtually, apart from a little bit radiating off the feeder, about zero low angle stuff. So it is straight up and straight down, well, nearly. And you wouldn't think that it would have, what has to happen? One of the layers has to go away, doesn't it? So that we can bounce off another one. Is it the D&E? I think it is. That's happened already, yeah, in bright sunshine. And you probably heard me saying to Pete, I don't know, it's shining right through my window into my face. I can't possibly work on a computer when I'm doing that, so I thought it was a good opportunity to come on. And I really didn't expect Hotbound to work, to be honest with you, at all. I didn't think it was going to work, and I've listened to, I've had a quick scan through, 60 and 40 and 80, and apart from 80, I couldn't hear any British blokes at all, so the bands are pretty crap again. So that's the story here. I'm on the big doublet. No power to speak of, really. But that's quite a nice report. A very pared down station here. I don't know if you had been reading the mail or perhaps listening before I went off to get all the decorating done, but I've only moved back in good-looking stuff. No homebrew stuff in here. Bought a wonderful little switch mode power supply. You don't hear that very often on amateur radio, do you? It's a proper amateur design one from Mike at Nevada. Really good it is. Tiny little thing. My old power supply was bloody enormous. You could only just get it in a 19-inch rack. I've got that little thing, and I've got the 7300, and I've got a Versatuner 3. How about that? Slightly modified to actually not be a complete waste of time on top bands. There we are, back to you. This is G7KLJ.
Okay, here we are. Yeah, okay. Let me just tune up a second. I'm on the double at the minute.
Yeah, and I'm back with a massive spider.
That's near enough. That's good enough.
Well, it's 20 over 9 now. Peter's back, by the way, so if you pass it to Peter when you're done, Ken.
Yeah, that's it. That'll do. That's much better. Yeah, I'm on the big doublet now. I've been playing around with an inverted L. But I'll probably sound different because I'm using my Yamaha headset. I set this up last night, and I'm using the Icon 7700. I've got to pare the track down. I've got too much in here. I've been getting rid of stuff as I'm going along steadily. Because I've got the Icon 7700, the FT2000, the TS2000, the IC7300. I've not got room, so what I'm going to do is thin the radios out a bit. I'm going to get rid of the old Floozy linear. Don't use it very often. So I don't like the plunking and everything it makes, and it's a pain. So I'll probably look at see if I can pick an ACOM up, something like that. But definitely got to thin the shack out. Too much junk. I'm surrounded by it, and now I've got this at 7700. I'll very rarely put my FT2000 on. Back to you, Steve.
No, it's a trouble, and you end up with a load of gear that you don't use. I haven't used any of my sort of AM system for ages. I got fed up not being able to hear people, to be honest with you. And it wasn't so much the noisy, it's just that amateurs are not allowed to speak in code, so I won't say that What won't I say? I won't say that the other amateurs on AM won't put in quite as much effort as me, because that would be code, right? I couldn't hear anybody most of the time. I was taking them on sideband. I might just well bloody be on sideband. And I can put the AM rig to other uses, can't I? I don't know what, but I've got two of them that are made so something. Looking at your transformers, Pete, and they're very cheap. They're not electrostatically shielded. You have to do that yourself. But I'm just anxious to not get you the ones that I bought, which, if you remember, I bought a load cheap. I got about, what was it? A dozen for £2 or something. And they're all right, but they don't have enough reactance on the winding to really do bass. And it doesn't matter at all for most amateurs, but I know how you like your bass. And I think they started to, bugger up the waveform if you put a sine wave in them at about probably 100, maybe even 150, which for you is no good. So I'm hoping I can find the spec on some of these. My transformers can be used and can have bass, but you have to faff around. You have to put, to get the reactance, you have to put the primaries and the secondaries in series. So it works in the end, but you don't really want to ponce about like that. But even if you did do that, I don't know how much these transformers are that you normally get from, you did tell me the name of the place, I forgot. But I know they're a lot of money, so, even if you had to use two, if you had room in the box, it wouldn't matter, would it? But yeah, it's a no-no. Plastic boxes in the shack. I reckon if you've got more problems on 80 than you've got on 160, it's probably because you've got an unfortunate length of either feeder or more likely connection to the earth system. Not really an earth system, but the shack earth, that's normally what the problem is. I know of a guy whose shack has quite thin and quite cheap, but aluminium sheet on the bottom side of his table, right, and all that is bonded to his ground system, and so it goes on. So at any, always within arm's reach is somewhere to ground stuff. I suppose you could do it with tinfoil, but it'd be a little bit temperamental, wouldn't it? It would tear and that. So when you make your nice shack, once you've moved, you'll have to get some thin alley sheet and screw that at the bottom of the table. Right, I'll carry on looking. Hello to Kent, Pete. You have a chat with him a minute. I'll see what I can find out. G7KLJ.
Yeah, Roger. G7BKK. With the group. Good evening, Kent. Sorry, I was just away with my son. He's caught this spider in the garden. I've just sent a photo to Steve. It's unlike anything I've ever already seen before. Let me use this bit of paper and make some notes. I'll be making some notes. Firstly, going back to you, Steve, it's just on 80. It's just, nothing unfamiliar. I've dealt with it before. Everybody knows you run a Kenwood or any other radio and you have a particularly long antenna attached to it, and you can get a bit of RF regardless. Whether it's I don't know where it's coming from, but basically at the moment the switcher box that I've built is very simple. All it is that I've got an equalizer and let's read what you've got. I don't think it is a bitey spider. It's big. I haven't seen it before. It's not the sort of thing you want to have in bed next to you. It's pretty big. It's about the size of your thumb, I suppose. Very good, Steve. I've got a very basic EQ just going in to the mic port. That's it. With the headset, a cheapo Logitech dirt cheap headset is the microphone. But the point is that it's picking up a bit of RF on 80 on less than 100 watts. So I think it's just, I don't know, I don't care, I've lost the will to live. There you go. I think it's purely and simply just a bit of RF leaking in. But other than that, for my purposes, the antenna's working brilliantly. I know you said, it's a sweet spot thing, and so on. Of course it is. Yeah, all the energy is going straight up into the air. But I don't know.
What's this for rice box?
Okay, on 168, basically want their energy to be spreading straight up in the air. I think if you're a serious 160 metre DXer, you want to go down that route, you've got to do it properly, you've got to have the space, and like you said last night, the whole comment about you peasants, you've got to buy the land around you, you've got to have enough space to put some radios down, that's all there is to it. That's all there is. You've got to have a vertical, an inverted L of some description, and you've got to have enough space to put some radios down and not be interfered with. Anyway, there we go. Anyway, so yeah, I need to get a call sign off the station you've just called in. I've literally just landed in. My phone just wandered up to bed. I've managed to track the spider, which is right here in this jar that I've got here. It's contained, looking rather vicious, yellow and black spider, which is not a garden spider, but there we go. Anyway, yeah, you sounded good to me. I've not written anything down. I've not got any call signs. But I'll put it round to you anyway, and you can have a well received. And I thought you were sort of 10 or 15 over with me anyway. So apologies for not having an instant, mate. Anyway, yeah, the name here is Peter, the call sign Golf 7 Victor Kilo Kilo. I'm near the town of Speckle on the east coast, which is quite close to Lowestoft, and about 25 miles to the east of Norwich. From G7BKW.
0KWR. Let me just turn this TV, I've got the cricket on, and it's noisy. We have spoken before, Peter, when you've been on with Steve. But conditions are a bit changeable. You're 5 and 9, and then I looked again and you were 20 over. So belting signal from you and lovely audio. So you sound good to me. I can't stop. I had to call for tea, and I thought I was going to leave you before your over had finished. But thanks for the quick chat. I'm sorry I can't stay with you, but if I don't get it, the dog will have it. So I'll leave it with you for now. G7VKKM 0KWR. Cheers, Steve. Cheers, Peter.
Yeah, Roger. Sorry for waffling. Yeah, 10:15 over at the 0KWR. Thank you for calling in. Sorry for waffling. Nice to hear you in, on the street. So I'm free for now. I'll put it around to Steve. G7KLJ, D7BKK is good.
I've got to have them long overs on top band, right? If you can't have them on top band, then where else? But it's no good when your bloody dinner's going cold. 7-3, Kent, and enjoy that, and Right, I found a transformer, a little one, where they do actually a whole load of these things, and they call them all sorts of different things. Microphone matching transformer, and one-to-one transformers, and all this lark. And there's only 2 of them that they dare to put the frequency response on, and they're fine if you can find them. They're wide enough even for you, because they go down to 15 cycles to 30,000 of the buggers. But there's only 2 of them where they admit to that. I wonder why they don't. I suppose they just don't, because if you look at the other ones, it says 600 ohm audio isolating transformer, ideal for use in the telecoms industry. Oh yeah, telephone. You want that telephone audio, don't you, to really cut through the QRF, so we won't bother with that one. Well, they're a little bit dearer, but you didn't tell me how much the real ones are, but that's like £8. Tell me, how much of the electrostatically shielded sun shines out of them, whatever they are, those ones you told me about earlier, over? Oh, Jensen. No.
Maybe I can log on to eBay. History of my purchases online. I don't know. ridiculous money, you know. I mean, what, 20 quid a stop for your record? You've got, when you buy anything online, you know that you're going to pay for the actual item and you're going to pay for the postage. Oh no, I don't want to be on there. I can understand if you've got two people, right, okay, living 4 miles apart from each other, both of them running a Kenworth TS 950 SDS, rudely modified, talking to each other, not causing interference to anybody, perfectly useful. They can operate quite wide, providing them options and things. I know that's the most confident. So, the band fan, providing you not causing interference. I mean, you waste your time. Most people are not hear that. They're not going to tell the fact that your audio goes down to 49 hertz or something. And to be honest, you're struggling to hear it at that, basically. But it's all contextual, isn't it? You know, you talk to somebody who's giving you a strong signal, nice audio, and you enjoy it if that's what floats your boat. But a lot of people come onto amateur radio and they struggle to hear anything, maybe because they struggle to hear generally and they have a hearing impediment, and they would prefer a peak around about 2K, 2 to 2.5K, and certainly under difficult listening circumstances, difficult signal to noise ratio, etc. Yeah, absolutely. You don't want a super wide signal because A, you're going to just wind everybody up and there's not enough space on the band, blah blah. Anyway, so I'm trying to have a look if I can find on the history here. But yeah, I just can't remember what I paid. I just remember it must have been 10 years ago. I bought 2 or 3 Jensen transformers. Yeah, they were just bigger, I think. I think it was the ease of access, the fact that this thing was massive and you could solder it. There was a connector attached to it as well, so you could, all you needed to do was have an appropriate socket soldered onto a circuit board, and then you plug the thing in, and then you can do whatever you want. Whereas with your ordinary dirt cheap glass transformer, they kind of see it over now and go, ooh, sorry. Have a look. Yeah. This could be a long time for you. There we are. I tell you what, I need a 2-minute break. I need to visit the little boys room now. I just need to double check that someone has indeed gone and to do some reading. I'll be back in about 2 minutes, mate. G7KLJ, G7 Bristol.
Okie doke, no problem. I did hear somebody else sort of speaking, but I don't know if that was is that a call-in, or were did you have Vox on and forgot it was on or something? Is Steve listening? Not a sausage. That's somebody on AM, isn't it? Unfortunately, not strong enough for me. I can hear the carrier. Can't hear a flipping word of the audio. Have you got the single sideband? Can you try that? that AM geezer that was calling me. Have another go, see if the band conditions change. G7KLJ, listening. I can't remember what frequency we were on. Yes, I do know. 1918, that'll do. Sorts of weird noises. Maybe you're from Mars or something. Or just having a tune? G7KLJ.
Hello?
Hello, is that you tuning or carrier or something?
No, but I'm back.
Somebody dropped one. A carrier, that is. I can give you two choices here. I mean, crikey, there's an awful lot of difference. I know, because I measured it in the RF workshop once, but I'm looking at the actual specs now. So if you want super cheap, you're going to have to cut off at 300. Wow. You're going to have to spend a bit more to get down to, not like there's some happy middleman. It's either 300 and cheap, or 15 and a bit dearer. Not massively dearer. And you could, let's have a look. Right, write this down. You can buy your... Have you got a pen?
I do.
I have a pen. I have pineapple.
Wow.
Pineapple pen. Oh, there's two... not order codes, but... There's only two that admit going down to 15 kc. And in actual fact, on both of them, they're 15 to 30 kc, right? The only difference is the impedance of the things. The more flexible one is the Lima Tango Romeo 110, LTR 110. It's more flexible, but it's more difficult to wire up. The reason it's flexible is because you can split or combine the secondaries, right? So the one side is 600 ohm, the other side is 600 ohm, but then there's another 300 ohm winding you can tack on the end of it, so it's almost then like a 4 to 1, isn't it? 2 to 1 or 4 to 1? Christ knows. 900 to 600, there we are. That's that one. That's the LTR 110. Cheapest I've seen them online for, this wasn't on eBay, is 763, and that's going to be plus VAT and postage, I expect. So you probably want to get at least half a dozen. Depends how much money you've got. Get 10 and you get them cheaper. £6.87. And the other one that's got decent frequency response is a Delta India Bravo 110. Delta India Bravo 110, and that is, well, very much of a matching transformer. That goes from 47k on one side, it's 600 ohm on the other side with a centre tap. Or, you know, not auto. A centre tap on the same winding. You can't split the windings on that. Right, that's the only two I can find that are worth having. Or, if you really don't care about the frequency response, have I lost the page? If you don't mind going down to 300, then I've got to go back now. Ah, shit, they came up then, and I clicked past it. They were red ones, very, very common. There they are. 2 for a £5 on eBay what do they call those? Oh, crikey, you won't miss these. But this is why I think it doesn't matter that they go down to 300, because he describes them as for PSK31, RTTY and SSTV. Note, he doesn't describe them for audio. These are... Oh, I'll just paste that link into your... I don't expect you'll want one of them, because it's rather... I hear what you were saying about the ESSB-ness, but 300 cut-off is rather pants, isn't it, really? I can't paste that address in there. Copy. Let's try again. Paste. Oh, crikey. There you go, there's a nice long... I don't advise you get them. But if you're really strapped for cash, you could get one of them and then get a decent one later. There we are. Never say I don't do anything for you. This is G7KLJ.
Yeah, Roger, G7KLJ. Thank you for the link. Yeah, well, I don't know. At the end of the day, it's not about annoyance, it's about having a decent range on the isolation transformer. So it needs to have a reasonable range so that you've got flexibility whether you want to run 1k wide or 100k wide. So there we are. Anyway, yeah, very good. Thanks for all of that, and much appreciated. 763 is not bad. Well, look. LCR 110 transformer. Not rocket science at the end of the day. So there we are. Yeah, just soldering that to a board and then soldering it wherever. So many.
Oh, hello. That was sudden. What's nuked? I don't think you got a power cut. It might have, but Google says you're still online. Don't worry, dear listener, I'll keep you updated. Oh, it is a power cut. Bloody hell. Oh, you're on your phone. Oh, I honestly don't get my head around. I don't get my head around the fact that I can be with chat online with somebody and they can have a power cut and it still works. The hell's gone now? Peter's had a power cut. I should go QRT. This is G7KLJ, closing down like a pro. That's a professional, not a prostitute.